Well, boys, times are hard. But I know if we stick together, we can do this. So listen up closely, I got some advice for you. So tell all the hunters to lay down their guns. Tell all the warlocks that their shadow bowling's done. We're going higher than we've ever gone. We're going higher than we've ever fucking gone. Never forget, they're called warglaves, not roglaves. So, we're talking Fury Warriors again. Part 2. First, I have to say thank you to Asmongold for watching my video and yeah, being a bro. What a legend. Awesome. Secondly, I have to say fuck you to his chat for being so savage and taking the piss out of my Welsh accent. So I recorded a lovely song in American for you. I hope you can understand my advice in that video. And yeah, great, let's move on. So we're in the pre-patch now. This is months later from my previous video and things have changed quite a bit, because Blizzard have changed the game quite a bit. The drum nerf is, it's less rage, it's less DPS. Removal of crafting patterns like Cloak of Darkness, Shadow Prowler's Chest Guard. Loss of the Relentless Earthstorm Diamond, which is quite a big deal. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about Bloodthirst. Not scaling with Unleashed Rage and improved Berserker stance. Blizzard claims this is not a bug. It's listed as not a bug. We're going to attempt to prove that it is a bug using footage from 2008. So take a look at this video now. It's playing in the background. And I'm just going to let it play for a bit, but then I'm going to go over some details. Out of all the videos that I find back from 2008, most of them are terrible quality. There's no combat log on display. It's difficult to really make anything of anything. But this video is decent quality. The combat log is on display. And the combination of buffs that we want to see with Bloodthirst do take place pretty early on in the fight. So we get to see at the start, Bloodthirst with everything up other than Unleashed Rage. And then like 10 seconds later, Bloodthirst with Unleashed Rage with exactly the same buffs otherwise. So if we take a look at the combat log, we can see Hourglass of the Unraveler has dropped off just before the Bloodthirst. So the only thing that's increasing the damage of this Bloodthirst is the Unleashed Rage. So if we go on Classic at the moment, neither Unleashed Rage nor Improved Berserker Stance are increasing the damage of Bloodthirst at all. So our damage on the beta and on the pre-patch is lower than it should be, because Bloodthirst doesn't hit as hard as it should. I'll link a couple of old Fury Warrior videos in the description, you can take a look for yourselves. And I'll also link the 2 threads discussing the bug on the EU and the US forums in the description too. A few people have asked me what my build is, my Fury build. Look, my Fury build is just the basic Elitist Jerks 2008 era 1744 Fury spec. It'll obviously be some variation of this. Maybe be swapping Unbridled Wrath for improved Demolizing Shout. Maybe you'll be using 2 points in improved Whirlwind on AoE fights, but I've always run with 1 point because with 2 points it kind of clashes with Bloodthirst anyway on a single target rotation. A couple of people have asked me about the Deathwish build. You're giving up 3% hit and 250 attack power before modifiers for a 3-minute cooldown. If you're doing speed kills, and it's later on in gear, and if you're killing the boss really quickly, it's up for 30 seconds. I mean, on a speed kill, it could be pretty good. Like Fathom Lord Karathras, when you do the cleave strategy, that dies pretty quickly, and most of the damage is done in the first 30 seconds during the Bloodlust anyway, with your recklessness up and on the ads. But, most skills these days, the speed running is more about clearing the whole thing. And if you're clearing the whole thing, you're better off with Rampage. So I don't really see the point in running the Death Wish. I'm willing to be proven wrong. But for now, the build I'm going to be running is the same build I ran, in 2008. Quite a few people were commenting on the last video about the gear I was using in the clips. Those clips were recorded months apart and years ago. In the Grull and the Magtheridon stuff, we're talking like blues and greens. I have a couple of epics, like Drakefist Hammer. and the Aldor sword, but you can see I'm using cheap consumables, Crusader enchant. The gear's not great, and everyone in the raid, you know, is give or take the same gear level. I had a pretty decently optimized setup for most of the kills, but you know, that is kind of the name of the game with Warrior. You need good group buffs. In the tier 5 clips, I was tier 4 geared pretty much, almost best in slot, no Dragon Spine trophy, tier 5 weapons, crafted leatherworking boots I think I had, and probably tier 5 legs maybe, but otherwise, you know, still the same sort of stuff that I would have had in tier 4, like red steel shoulders or whatever. And the rest of the raid was, you know, similarly geared. I think the Warlocks were better geared. At least one of the Warlocks was quite a bit better geared. One of the Mages was quite a bit better geared. The tank certainly better geared. But, you know, everyone was roughly the same. We were all gearing at the same rate. We all played together. The reason my DPS is so high on Fathom Lord Karathras was because we had Bloodlust on the start, I Recklessness on the start, we cleaved everything down on the start, and it was essentially a melee speed kill strategy. Now, the original strategy for killing that boss was to split all the ads apart, and everyone's got a different job, and everyone's doing bitch duties, and it kind of sucks for melee. But because we had a lot of melee in our guild, we figured out a good strategy to try and optimize the damage a bit. And I think on the first kill, I was quite a bit from the top. I think the top was like a mage, but I was like second or third, but quite a bit down. But on that set, the next week, then we were like, we need a better strategy, and we think we can do this speed kill strategy. So we thought, well, we gave it a few tries, and we had a couple of wipes, I think, and then we pulled it off. And you know, I'd kept my recklessness for when we knew we'd have a good pull. So obviously, you know, it played into the strengths of my class. It played into the strengths of my situation. But that's what a good player does. You know, you're not going to go do less DPS on purpose. So TBC is coming soon. I'm looking forward to it big time. Really excited. I'm going to be playing Fury Warrior again. I'll probably be tanking some dungeons and some Karazhans just like in the old days. And I'm really looking forward to just getting online and having some fun with my friends. And before we cap this off, I just want to ask everyone to go and report this Bloodthirst bug. Blizzard may investigate it again and find that they were wrong, and then they'll fix it. Maybe they won't, but the best chance we've got right now is to just let them know and report the bugs and move on and try and enjoy the game. A few people have asked me to do some gameplay guides for Fury Warrior in TBC. Well, it's been a few years since I've played Fury Warrior, so I kind of want to get back up to speed first before I do any guides and look like an idiot. Of course, the basics are very simple, but it's not the basics that really end up making the DPS in the end. It's all the little tricks. You know, the right timing, the right use of rage, making the most of all your sweeping strikes charges, and knowing how to optimize yourself based on your raid comp and the strategy that your raid is using for bosses. And in dungeons, like knowing when to pool and when to use your rage, because unless you've got aggro and you're tanking the mobs, which you may be, you're not going to have enough rage to really just go flat out all the time, especially in the early days. And I'd always have people tell me, oh, Fury Warriors, their DPS sucks, and then I'd go into a dungeon with them and I'd be top damage. And it's because people were just mashing their keys mindlessly, not thinking about the fact that they've only got a finite amount of rage and they're just using it mindlessly. But all I said, I want to play some TBC first, get myself back up to speed, and maybe record some footage, and then maybe I can think about making a guide. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. Asmongold watched my last video. If you can get him to watch this video and then report the Bloodthirst bug, that would be incredible, and I'm sure he'd be pleased to do more DPS too. So get your boy Asmongold reporting the bug. Anyway, I'm done. Enjoy TBC, guys. It's going to be a blast. And yeah, I'll see you soon.